God again in church, correct?
From the
Yes.
back row.
From the back row in church. Please continue.
I didn't pay attention a lot, but counted a lot of light bulbs, counted people, anything I could count to really not pay attention, just to be honest. But I had a lot of conversations with God. And I was questioning, like, I don't understand this. Why? I don't. My marriage just fell apart. I don't know what your plans are. I never planned on divorce. I did not want this for my kid. Just a whole lot of conversations back there on the back row. But by this point, I'm at the post office working, and I'm by myself a whole lot during the day. It can be a good thing, and it can be a bad thing. Like back in the day when we was gonna fight, I had all day to plan.
It's not good.
No, that is not good.
It's not good for the man part of this.
No. But it was a lot of time to be in your head, especially when you're going through something like this. And I'd got in my head one day, I had started crying, and I just felt the need to text him. And I text Nathan, and I was like, all I ever wanted from you was to be enough. And no. So I took this as confirmation, like, we're done. I tried, gave it one last shot.
How long did you wait before you realized he wouldn't text him back? What is a reasonable amount of time is my question.
He's asking for personally.
I need this. I need this in my back pocket.
I mean, you want him to respond immediately, but 5 minutes for work on 10, hour, 3 hours, it's like, okay, we're done.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Okay, all right. I'm making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is confirmation. I've got to get serious. I cannot live with my sister forever. Me and Braden were butting heads a little bit. He was getting on my last nerve. I love Braden. Don't get me wrong. He's great. But I did not want to live with Braden anymore. So I was like, I've got to find an apartment. And Orrin Holly lives on my route. And I don't know if y'all know him or not, but he owned a lot of rental houses in Hatley. And I wanted to stay in this area about Gracie going to school. And so Orrin tells me he's got an apartment fixing to open up. He lets me go look at it, or the woman living there lets me go look at it. Mama and Angie, my stepmom, come with me to look at it. It's like, all right, this can work. He was going to let the dogs come. That was another big deal. On the way home that night, Angie looks at me and she says, are you sure you want this? And, of course, to everybody, I was like, yep, that's what I want. But that seed's planted, and it wasn't. But 2 weeks later, I'm back at work. I'm back in my head. I'm thinking about what Angie said. The date for this woman moving out of this apartment's coming up. So it's, I'm trying to get the deposit, all that stuff ready, and looking at furniture, all of it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give this one last time. So I text Nathan again. I was like, this is the Hail Mary. If he doesn't respond this time, I'm going to let it go from here. So I text him again, the exact same message. All I ever wanted from you was to be enough. And his immediate response this time was, you've always been enough. So it was a long day on the mail route that day.
Can imagine so.
It broke everything inside of me.
Why's that mail lady crying in her truck?
It's with the mail. What's his name, Nathan? Golly.
Them poor folks in Hamilton.
Why is this wet? I'm sorry, Brittany. I'm sorry.
So we talked. We decided to start dating again. And we went out on, like, real dates. And I couldn't tell you the last time we went out on dates. Just me and him. we would go out with Gracie some, but just me and him doing something, I couldn't tell you. Our dates was going out with your friends to the bar. And so we're going out on real dates. We're going to eat. We're hanging out. We're having real conversations. Um, Starting to stay over there at our house. Stay over there more and more. And finally to the point that I was like, okay, it's time to move back in. I moved back in February of 2020 because it was right before COVID. And I'm going to church with Whitney. He had been going to Meadowwood with his parents. I didn't want to go to Meadowwood. He didn't want to go to New Center Point. So we went our separate ways, and Gracie decided which church she wanted to go to on Sundays. And that's hard.
Oh yeah, that's something we had discussed. It was not a healthy situation.
No. And you spend,
But you're there.
We're there.
You're in a step, so you're there.
I'd actually got the devotional that was with the Fireproof movie. I can't even think of what the devotion was called now. But anyways, I'd started doing it. Like I'm giving this my all at this point. And going to church. I think I'm probably starting to work on this relationship with God. It's breaking, little by little at this point. Not much, but a little. I'm not mad. I'm not questioning him anymore. It didn't take long when you're going to church separately that you fall out. It's easy to fall out. And I worked 6 days a week back then at the post office. And when you work 6 days a week, Sunday's your only day off. It makes it even harder to want to get up and go. And after church, we would always go to, me, and my sister would go to my grandmother to eat lunch. And by the time you got back home, it was 2, 3 o'clock. Well, your whole day's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I've missed this time with my husband and my child, or, the time together. So it was just easy to find something else to do on Sundays that we could do together. And then COVID happened, so you weren't really going to church anyways at this point. And we're still drinking, partying, having a good time, but our marriage is good.
Are y'all talking about God together now?
Some. So this goes on. He told y'all the date we went to Amory first. I don't remember the date. But Annabelle was getting baptized. Y'all invited us to go to church.
The loud man.
Britney was a huge fan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't upset him anymore. We'll get kicked out.
Me or Nathan, neither one wanted to go to this church, but was going to go support Annabelle. Gracie had actually been going to this church with my mother. Her and Beanie had been going. Beanie's niece was going, Kristen and Dwayne Brown. Their little girl is Gracie's age, so Gracie was really loving this church. But I told Nathan that morning, because we'd already been talking about finding a church, and we couldn't agree. I actually grew up when my dad's second wife, I went to Amory first. I was every other weekend or whatever, I was there. So I was part of the youth there. And the church itself had a special place in my heart. So he didn't want to go there. I was like, well, I kind of want to go down the Pentecostal line. I want to find something along those lines. He didn't want to do that. He wanted straight backwoods Baptist.
Hard man for compromise.
Yeah.
From my standpoint, at least.
But so we're going to church, and I told him, I was like, we need to give this church a fair shot. Gracie really likes it. They've got a decent youth group. I was in that youth group at one time. They do a lot. We need to give it a fair shot. So we went. We tried to sit on the back row there. Austin wouldn't let us. He made us come up about midways.
See, I wasn't even a front rower back then either. But I wasn't the back row. I was in the middle.
We went that Sunday. we talked about it when we got home. I was like, that wasn't that bad. He was like, no, it wasn't. So we went the next Sunday and the next Sunday. And Heather calls one Wednesday and she was like, hey, we're going to church tonight. Y'all want to go? And my immediate response is like, no, not on Wednesday night. I've worked all
Have
day.
you lost your mind? Y'all do that?
Well, then I felt guilty about it. So I told Nate, I called him. I was like, Heather says they're going to church tonight. Do you want to go? And he was like, well, whatever you want to do. So we ended up going. And we had a really good service that night. By this point, I feel like God has told Justin every bit of my business. 'Cause every service he is talking about me to me.
Toes is hurting.
Yeah, he's stepping all on them. And he's already texting by this point.
Oh.
You know, he's pushing you to stay there.
He was texting you the day after the baptism.
That's right.
Probably. Real close to it.
I just gotta get my number.
Heather.
That U card will get you every time.
Don't tell all the secrets.
I did fill out the U card. So we go that Wednesday, and now we're going every Sunday, every Wednesday. And one Wednesday night, Justin really stepped on my toes, and I'm like, I'm ready to run to the altar at this point. And when he opens it up, which I wasn't really paying attention to Nathan, I was all in my head, but apparently Justin been stepping on his toes too. So he actually stood up and went to the altar first, and I went right behind him. And it was Becca and I don't remember who. Anyways, they come and prayed with me, but it was my true breaking point. Ugly crying, just the whole work.
I learned the term for that is sup-supping. When you're hitting that, it's called sup-supping.
I was at that point.
They hit us with that at the Next Gen conference. That's
Is that
what
in the dictionary?
Sup-supping. Just thought I would share that with y'all. That's what that is.
And for me to be at that point is a big deal. The numbness that I mentioned before, I didn't cry. Dang sure was not fixing to cry in public in front of people. So it was a big step for me to cry like that in front of a lot of people. But so we both went. We're both, I guess, at this point, rededicating our life, and you start your walk of sanctification and, all the convictions. So we quit drinking. I quit smoking. Everything's going good at this point. Great, actually. Then I got diagnosed with Graves' disease. And if you don't know what it is, it's an autoimmune disease. It attacks your thyroid. Graves' disease makes it extremely overactive. So my heart rate was like sky high all the time. I had a Fitbit is how I called it. And one day, like just chilling, it was like, my watch sent me the notification, you need to chill out, And I told Nathan, I looked at my heart rate, it was 90 something, and I'm just sitting there.
Oh, my watch has never told me I need to chill out. Not one single time.
It hits you with that stand up, don't it?
Drink water and get up.
So I was like, this ain't right. And I didn't feel bad at this point, or I didn't know I was feeling bad. I hadn't put the symptoms together. So I told Nathan, I was like, my watch is telling me, chill out, my heart rate's high. I was like, check it. And it was right. Well, then you start really watching. And every time you would stand up, it was just shooting through the roof. Beyond, like, it was crazy. And it was getting worse and worse and worse. And I was losing weight like crazy. I had my tubes tied that, I think it was in February. So I've never been one to watch the scale very much. It was always disappointing, so I just didn't use it. And so I'm actually getting on the scale, going to the doctors, and I'm seeing that I'm losing weight. Well, it's like, I ain't done nothing to lose weight. And when I was off with my tubal, I sat at home and ate jelly beans, like a whole bag, and then I still lost like 3 pounds when I went back to the doctor, and I was like, okay,
Maybe this thing ain't so bad. I don't know.
something's not right.
I don't know, Doc.
But I finally get an appointment with a doctor. I end up having to go to Memphis. None of these endocrine doctors here had any openings anytime soon. So I'm going back and forth to Memphis. They diagnosed me with Graves' disease. They're putting me on a anti-thyroid medicine to bring it down. And we're talking about surgery. But for whatever reason, I don't know why this rocked on for months before we actually scheduled the surgery. And it was hard. When I actually found it, my TSH level was a .01. Like, I should have been dead.
Mm.
It worked delivering packages. Like, I'd get out of the car to go deliver a package. My heart rate shoot up to like 180. And you feel like crap. Going home, trying to clean the house, I would have to sit down and take multiple breaks to clean the house because my heart rate was just that high. Church, standing up, worshiping, had to sit down. So we finally go on, do the surgery. Best decision ever. Like, I do not miss that thing at all. But everything turned out okay. No cancer, no nothing like that. Everything starts balancing out. And that's all right. And then maybe a couple months later, we had dogs that I mentioned earlier. I had a boxer, and we had a mutt from the Humane Society that we'd had since Gracie was like a year old. The boxer I got because I told Nathan one day that I wanted to have a baby. He was like, absolutely not. I was like, well, I'm getting a dog. So I got a dog real quick. So
Fair trade.
Fair trade.
that dog was extremely spoiled because he was the solution to baby fever. And he was my baby. At this time, I was still part-time at the post office. So I was working for Dad. He went to work with me every day, went everywhere I went. My true baby. But the Rebel, the mutt, he started getting sick. We go to the doctor, find out he's got a tumor in his lung. We can put him on this medicine to kind of prolong his life, as long as we can, to pull the fluid off of him so he can breathe. So he's sick. He's on these Lasix, so he can't hold it. He's having an accident. So we're putting him outside during the day. The nosy boxer's got to go outside with him. And I was afraid that we had boundary collars for him. And I was afraid that Rebel was going to run off and die, and I wasn't going to be able to find him. And one of our collars had disappeared. So I put the one collar we had on Rebel. And I had never known Ace to get in the road or anything, but that Halloween night, he got in the road and was ran over and killed. Rebel decided to give up on life then. So 3 days later, we're at the vet putting him to sleep. And it was hard. I took it real hard. Almost started questioning God again at this point.
Well, because this dog was with you through some times too.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm with you.
Yes. Through the divorce,
Mhm.
or not the divorce, the separation. We didn't divorce. But yeah, he'd been with me through it all, and losing both of them 3 days apart it was hard.
Sure.
But Justin and Kim actually come to the house that night that Ace was ran over. They prayed with us, and it was probably one of the only things that kept me sane for a while. Haley and Connor come with us to the vet when we had to put Rebel down. But I was a little mad at this point again. I wouldn't say mad to the point I was before, but I was definitely working on it. So this rocked on a few months. I finally, come to terms with it, move on. And then maybe 6 months later, found out Beanie's got to have open heart surgery. He's got to have a valve. Not long after that, we found out Mama's got colon cancer. So at this point, I am bound and determined that this faith walk is exactly what I'm doing. Nothing's going to shake it this time. So when Mama called and told me about her cancer, I immediately started praying. I had my fit for just a minute. You know, I hit the dash and screamed, and I was like, nope, we're not doing it this time. I stopped, started praying, started declaring, you know, my mama's going to be healed. This is going to be, she's coming out of this. Beanie's coming out of this. In the middle of this, Doug ends up in the hospital. He's got blood clots. Like, he's ate up with blood. He had one they said was like 12 inches long in his arm. Like, ate up. So, my faith stayed good through every bit of this. It was a lot. I'm the oldest.
I was say, for somebody that's kind of still not so much new, but what you've been through, you didn't have the faith. You're back in church. Now your faith is being sure enough shaken.
Yeah.
At this point.
I think it was devil testing for sure. But anyways, it rocked on. Beanie goes through surgery. He's good. Mama has her surgery. She comes out good. She has to do chemo pills for about a year. She gets her all cleared. Doug leaves the hospital. I'm really, because he's so weird about it, like, I don't know if he's over it or what.
He probably went back to work immediately.
Yeah, he did. He was worried about the money. But he don't talk about it. Yeah, it's like he's okay. So I guess he's come through it too. But at the flip side of this, I really felt accomplished just because the faith never shook this time. For once in my life, I stood strong and pushed through it. I think my faith grew a lot through this, actually turning to God and relying on Him. Because, I mean, that's all I had and nothing else. And Nathan was strong through every bit of it, right there with me. There was a couple of times, like, I can't take anything else. Like, this is my maxed out.
No, you're good. I was going to ask a question.
Go ahead.
So what we're clear, and I think I'm around at this point. We're clear from the heart surgery, the mom's cancer. What year are we around when everything's clear? Everything's kind of
24.
okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
And just to say, when you come in and got serious and started coming, we used to talk about you worshiping when we got home. I was like, there's something different about him. He's going to be something in this.
Not a basketball star.
Not a basketball star. But there was. I
He's
told
got a
Nathan
jersey
for a
for
long
sure.
time there was something different.
Well, you know, and that's kind of where when Nathan gave his side of his testimony, we hit it off pretty quick. Just in that moment, I think, and this might sound crazy, we all come from some messed up stuff because we just messed up folks in this world, and I don't know if that just helps us relate to one another, and we can kind of see. And before I even knew anybody's testimony, I just kind of started when I started talking to people.
They look
Linking it.
messed up.
Yeah. Those people right there are messed up. But you know, when you come to Amory first, you know, let's get past the initial baptism part. When y'all started just actually coming, I'm assuming y'all probably knew quite a few people. Actually, you probably knew a pretty good people.
Yeah.
Even beyond that, did you not? What was the feeling like once you started becoming a regular? How did they make you feel?
They made you feel like you were at home. You know, I didn't. I didn't mention it, but like we weren't a loving family growing up. Like we didn't hug each other, we didn't tell each other we loved each other. You just kind of knew it.
Yeah.
So you go to church and all these folks are hugging on you all the time.
Get off me.
It was
You don't-
different.
You don't come to the
You don't
front
like
door.
that either,
That's
Chuck?
why you're not. Are you even there for Sunday school? I think you get there that much early so you can avoid all that hug.
No, it took me a while to get used to the hugging too.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam's gonna get you. It don't matter if it's 10:30.
Yes.
He's my favorite hugs now.
Yes,
Nothing like Adam being
absolutely.
a hug.
And when he found out I wasn't big on hugs, he was like, "Do I offend you?" I was like, "No, you're fine. You're fine." But they accepted you. It wasn't long. We started working in the kids ministry with Haley, and it was great. You know, for those of you that have never been back there or seen it, those kids go hard. They worship a lot harder than most of these adults now. We're doing that. Nathan becomes the men's minister or over the men's ministry or whatever. One night at revival, gosh, I can't think of it. Mike, was that his name?
You're telling what I think you're telling, then yeah.
Yes, probably. We go to we're going to revival. He calls anybody that wants to be filled with the Holy Spirit to the front of the church. I'd been praying about this, been wanting it, had some walls that I was trying to break through to get to this point. So I go up there and start praying. I think Mark West was the first one praying with me. Cindy come over there. Christy came, and it just started rolling out. And in my head, because I told myself when I was praying for this, I was like, I want to know it's real. I don't want to push it. I want 100% know it's real. So, like in the moment, all this is rolling out, and I'm like, I got to remember this. I'm gonna translate.
Yeah, that's
it. Like,
right. I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure it out here in a minute.
I, for the life of me, cannot force myself to do it.
Yeah.
I will say I was praying beside her when this started. I don't know how I ended up beside her. Nathan was over on the other side of the church, and then me and you were on that side. And I was doing my own thing to start, and then it was however long after, and I was done, and I stepped back, and I could feel the Spirit beaming off of you when that was happening. Like it was one of the most powerful I feel God right here moments I've had in that church for sure, and in a long time.
Yeah.
Overall.
Well, and even at the beginning, like I was saying things, but it was like the same thing over and over. So I was like, was that real? Like, did I do it? And Kim Payne, if y'all don't know Kim Payne, y'all
never heard of her.
Y'all need a Kim Payne in your life
I'm just
because
kidding, Kim.
I love her. She is the best person to have in your corner, probably one of the biggest prayer warriors I've ever met. But Kim come up and she was talking and she was like, "Did you get it?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe." She done grabbed me by the head and she was like, "I rebuke Satan," and we go again.
If you want somebody to be real,
Yes.
that's who you get in your corner for sure.
But when I started speaking again, Kim's like, "That's it, you're doing it, you're doing it." She gave me the confirmation.
Sure.
And so we did. Anyways, I got that. Nathan is still trying to work through his walls at this point to get to that point. We end up getting baptized again, and I kind of struggled. I battled wanting to do that for a while. Like I felt like I needed to, but I did it as a kid, and I was like, well, I know where I'm going. I know my life's different. Do I need to do this again? Like, it's just a symbol of my faith, so I have to do it again. And at this point, like, we're very involved at the church, and I was like, how does this look? We've been involved for a while. Like, how's it going to look when we just now get baptized again? But I'd been battling it. Nathan, he said something about he wanted to do it, and I was like, okay, this is it. You're giving me the confirmation I needed. So we did it. A little bit before this, I stepped into the girls' ministry role. Uh, and that's probably the best decision I've ever made. It was hard because I went when we first started going. I worked a couple of Wednesday nights with Heather, and them kids, they wild on Wednesday nights. A
Yeah.
whole new level of wild.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, this ain't for me. Don't ask me to work Wednesdays. I'll work any Sunday. Don't ask me to work Wednesday. And I had a experience or a moment with one of the girls on a Sunday, and it stuck with me. It bothered me. And she was one that come on Sundays and Wednesdays. Like to the point I stayed awake at night. And I was like, you know what? I prayed with her, but like, what did I do to help her? When this situation comes up again, what did I do to help her get through it? And so me and God kind of battled that out a little while because he's telling me to take that Wednesday role and to be that for these girls. And I did not want it at all. But I finally went to Haley and took it over. Still didn't really want to do it at this point, but I was giving in and doing it. But when I went week 1, it was great. Like I don't know why I didn't want to do it. And it's grown from there. I feel like that's exactly where I'm supposed to be.
How many? I know we do a lot of numbers thing. How many did y'all have y'all's first Wednesday in there?
When I don't remember the first night, but when I first started doing it, I was averaging like 10 girls a night.
And this past Wednesday,
we had 40.
There you go. I'm gonna say you're right where you need to be.
Yes, I feel like I'm right where I need to be. God loves to keep me awake and talk to me about what I need to be doing in there. So I guess that's one way to get my attention. When that first year, I kind of went through issues with the girls that they face at their age and how to deal with it. The next year, and late that year before we started the summer games, I tried to do a fun night with them. And I bought this Christian Family Feud game. First of all, the girls didn't know what Family Feud was.
Oh, man.
But the knowledge they lacked in Bible stories just confused me. Like, I was like, we have got to go to basics. Like, y'all don't know anything. So that next year, we started memorizing the books of the Bible, started the JBQ stuff we tried to do, but it helped with the Bible stories for sure, them getting the knowledge and stuff they needed. And then during the summer, I was just planning on going back to picking up where I left off. And I started losing sleep again. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna teach Bible stories this time. But it's got to be fun. It's got to be something that's going to stick with these girls. And I know you do know what these girls are like, but they want to do their videos on their phone all the time.
That's spot on. I'm assuming you're throwing that at me because my girls are in there, and you would be
I've got Miley too
correct.
every now and then. But yes, so I decided it's like we're going to act out. We're going to do the Bible stories, and we're going to act it out. So we started the skit, and it has been a major hit with the girls. I don't know if it continues or where we go from here, but I'm sure
That's
will
where
let me know.
That's where I started. Which I mean, it was growing from that point. When I started seeing that, that's when I started seeing a lot of growth. Because at this point, you're diving into the Word for sure, in a way for them to relate to it.
Yeah.
I think that's when I really started noticing a lot of growth in that area. Because, I mean, as a matter of fact, I've heard that y'all are diving in on the Word as well. But you're found the way to make it relatable for them, because maybe they're not going to listen to you just sit there reading it. Yeah. But, hey, let's make it fun. And then they're going to, like, go back and say, I remember when I played that role in that skit and I had a mustache on.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to relate to it in that moment.
They just always look like, whether it's the skits or the, hey, y'all come to church skits, or it's the girls' night, they look like they are having
a blast
all the time. They might not even realize what they're getting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But one day that'll, like you said, I wore a mustache because we were talking about da 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 da, and they
Yeah.
did that, and they'll just go on, and they won't even realize, hey, she taught me that whole story
Mm-hmm.
because we were filming the skit, or at the very least, you can always go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know from a dad of little girls, I am very thankful for it, and I'm sure Ty is too. And then Devin has a daughter who's going to come up through it. If Brittany can make it that long, she's been
Please make it that long.
She's been a trooper. If there's anybody that could break her, though, that little girl's got a good shot.
Yeah, mine'll give you a good test, but you're good with her anyway. So when y'all watch her, so you'll be fine. She might beat up Nathan, but you're usually pretty all right. I see. So we all kind of went through our testimonies, and you had every reason, human wise, just to quit. And when you finally come to it, and you started, I think most of the time we don't listen when God's trying to talk to us.
Yeah.
And I've had this tough conversation. It's not popular preaching by no means, but I think we're quick to say that the devil put us through this, but sometimes I think God's like, come back to me in those moments. Like, I've still got you, and we've said it 100 times right here. We go back to him when we need him most. But I see in your case where you kind of you just gradually started coming back that way. And that's what I get from different people's testimonies. It's crazy to see where I know so many people that I need to share, just anything with. And in those moments, God got you all the way through your early age to now. And that's what this whole thing's about. And I actually talked to some ladies at the church Sunday, and they never really said it. They was just kind of like, yeah, we're enjoying y'all's stuff. But I told them, I said, wait till after this next episode. I think you're really going to be with us. So I was super pumped about getting you on here, because now some women are hearing just men's stories.
Yeah.
Now they're going to say, holy cow, maybe I've been through that. That's just something that's hit home for me. People are listening to this, and they're getting stuff from it. I never want somebody to say, hey, well, I'm just going to go on that podcast, tell my testimony, I'm going to be out. I firmly believe with everything in me that this is going to help somebody. Yeah. You had every reason to quit when most people would.
So were you done? Were you at the end? Yeah, I think so. One thing I want to add real quick, and I think over the years I've told her this. I know I've told her husband this. We were there. Me and Heather were there through a lot of that.
Yeah.
There are people who are going to watch this podcast and have never met you and couldn't pick you out of the lineup if they see you. Same way with all of us. And there are people who are going to watch this podcast and they've known you since you were 5th, 6th, 7th grade, which we all also have. From the short time, I've known who Britney was for a long time just because we went to the same school, me and her. Anyways, there's always been some little bit of connection there. But from the time we started hanging out to where you are at now, I preached the message the first time I got to preach in church about the woman at the well. There's not many cases that I've seen a real life change in somebody that I think yours really shows. And this is before I knew some of the stuff that you shared tonight. Some of that stuff was new to me. A lot of it I knew, but the stuff that happened to you when you were younger, I had no idea. The growth that you've had through God has been phenomenal for somebody like me to sit back and see. I use you all the time as an example to people that I've talked to. If you don't think God can change you, you need to meet Britney Wilbanks. And don't get me wrong, Nathan had a big turnaround too, but I even remember when me and Nathan were working together, we would still have somewhat of conversations about God. When I first met you, you were still very much in that numb phase.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
very rough.
Brittany would hurt your feelings real quick. I mean, real quick. Did it to me all the time. But
I'm sorry.
the turnaround, it's okay. I probably got over it. Devin does it now, so it doesn't make a difference.
Yes.
But I just want to tell you that your turnaround and what God's done in your life has been inspirational to me for a fact. And I think now it's going to be inspirational for a lot of people because just like the woman at the well, you might have been this one thing yesterday, but the next day you became a messenger.
That's right.
Don't ever forget what somebody might be tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I know. I want you to kind of want you to go through, and I know you just went through your testimony. Is there anything you want to say to anybody through all your situations that you've been through? What would motivational wise something you might want to put out there?
This is always the hardest question.
Yeah.
It is. It's okay to have feelings. Like, feelings is what make you human. And that is, like, to this day, when I get my feelings hurt, it's something I struggle with. Because I ain't diving into the bottle anymore to numb it. Coming to term with emotions is
You could always try root beer float. Sorry,
Root beer
that
float,
doesn't-
yes.
They work.
Feelings are okay. It's okay to question God, I think, from time to time. Because I think when I was sitting on that back row counting light bulbs and questioning him, he was listening. You know, he was working at me. Because I was very, very mad and bitter before that. So just the conversation, because it'd been years since I'd had the conversation with him. You don't have to find yourself in a man either. If you ever go through any of those situations, it's never your fault. No means no at the end of the day. Teach your sons that.
That's good.
Yeah, that's not for me, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, I mean that's good.
Lord wouldn't give me a son, but
Yeah.
And as far as marriage, people look at me and Nathan like we're really something special now. And, like, but you didn't see what we went through to get to where we are. There was a whole lot of bad to get to where we are now. To be honest, when we first started going to church, the separation was a big thing that, I mean, I was ashamed of it. But looking at it from this side now, was it the best decision of my life? Would we have ever come to where we are now without it? Realized we needed each other, that we wanted each other. But just because you fell on hard times in your marriage, it doesn't mean it's over. It can be fixed. It can always be fixed when you put God in it and work together.
It takes two.
It takes two.
Three.
It takes three.
With
Thank you,
the
Nathan.
Lord at the very top.
Yes. I love Nathan more now than I ever have in my life, and it changes. It grows every day. But I guess
Well, I know that I'm glad that we got this done, and we'll be honest for a minute. After Nathan gave his testimony, he was the most popular person that never showed their face on this podcast because they didn't want to do with me, Austin, or Ty. It was well, why don't we just go ahead and get Brittany on there? I'm like, well, there's still some of us here. Well, here she is. No, I'm glad. I'm the most thing I guess you can say I'm excited about is Hunter has said this before is the unknown for you. I can't wait to see what even the levels of the Glow Girls go to. I mean the ceiling is where you're headed for sure. Y'all good?
I'm good, sir.
All right. You want to close us out in prayer?
Yeah. God, thank you for today. Thank you for Brittany coming out and sharing her story, God. I just want to thank you for the heart she has for the young girls in our church, Lord, that her and everyone else continue to pour into them and make them grow up and just make the right choices and live for you, Lord. In your name I pray. Amen.
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 Peace out, y'all.
See y'all.